just tell us a little bit? Oh, first, please raise your right hand.
Yep.
Yeah, tell the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right.
So yeah, and it's kind of hard to tell on the projector, but phase one of the master site plan is complete with the exception of the building that's clouded in red. So the three buildings around it have been built for several years. And they are all of matching exterior facade. And we are trying to finalize phase one with this last building and are just requesting an exception to have the same exterior facade as the other three buildings so that they all match within this one phase of the project.
Staff.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right, so staff is recommending approval. This is a variance request to the architectural standards. This is, the architectural standards were put in place after the other three buildings were built. So we are looking to maintain continuity inside of this. This is a planned commercial development, as you can see on the master plan. It does not violate any of the zoning restrictions that were placed on this whenever it was zoned to this category, to this zoning district. And also, the buildings themselves, they did include renderings of them. You do have pictures from the highway. You will see it is a mix of brick and some metal as well as windows. And the building, the continuity of it, I think, is the most important part of it, of all of this, because the goal of the architectural standards is to maintain some continuity in our design. So to maintain it within this planned development, I think it would be very onerous of us as a board not to approve it.
Understood.
And I would entertain any questions that the board may have at this time.
Any questions from the board?
No.
All right, we'll make a motion on application 2216S.
I make a move of application, said application 2216 is upon the staff conditions.
I second the motion for approval.
All in favor, raise your right hand. All passed.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Next up on the agenda this evening is application 2219S, Robert Hugh, owner 495 Steel Road, approximately 5 acres located in land lot 26 of the 3rd Land District, requesting a special exception to conduct online firearms and accessory sales and gunsmithing. There is no one who has signed up for this particular case this evening.
The applicant is.
The applicant is here, but no one has signed up.
Okay. All right. You want to speak on that?
Do I need to? If you
You-
need me to, I will.
So if you want to speak, you need to state your name and address.
It's Robert Howe, it's 495 Steel Road.
Just swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yeah.
All right, what is, you want to explain your application?
Yes, sir. It's just an online sales business. It's firearms. I have a federal firearms license. I mean, I have to have a business license, so that's kind of what it is.
Okay.
Is there
Any question of the applicant?
Not at this
Not
time.
at this time.
Okay.
Thank you.
okay, thank you.
Staff?
All right, so these applications arose out of a request from the Department of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, the ATF, for us to research these. We do have more than one. There's actually two on the docket tonight. And what it is part of this process does involve gunsmithing. It is not the primary use of these particular businesses. They are online sales and transfers. That's the primary use of the business. And so we're looking for a special exception on the home occupation rules to make sure that everything is above board. This is as much to protect the county from liability as well as the applicants themselves. They have been vetted by the ATF, I would like that noted, and they've been vetted also by the local sheriff's department in that process. The conditions, staff does recommend approval. We do have 3 conditions, and they apply to the home occupation specifically. There's no exterior signage. There is a requirement to be inspected by the fire marshal, and any felony convictions have to be reported to us within 10 business days, and that's part of their requirement with ATF as well.
Now,
Any
is there
questions?
Does ATF or an entity of it do any type of monitoring? Because I know we can't, as the county.
It's
babysit it,
primary-
But, I mean, is there anybody checking and balancing and making sure everything is?
It's primarily on the onus of the local jurisdiction to monitor these things, and we do it through the business license process. And then also if there's any illegal type of activity, that is reported to us as well, and it has an impact, and we're obligated to report it to ATF.
Okay, so we monitor and then
Yes, ma'am.
report up, okay.
And then further on that note, just, and this is just a personal aside, in working with businesses of this nature in other jurisdictions, the ATF is very responsive whenever we make it known that there are any issues. There have not been any in Spalding County, I want to clarify that. But in other jurisdictions that I've worked in, that we've had to deal with these types of businesses, ATF is very responsive, and they're very quick on their response in terms of any penalties or any licensure issues.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions of the staff?
Not at this time, no.
Make a motion on application 2219S.
I move approval of special exception application 22-19 as to include the staff conditions.
And I second. All in favor, raise your right hand. All right,
Thank you.
good to go.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Chairman. Next up on the agenda this evening is application 2217 V. Victor, Cesar Garcia, owner 186 Connolly Place, approximately 1.38 acres located in land lot 163 of the 3rd Land District, requesting a variance to reduce side setback from 25 to 15 feet. Mr. Cesar Garcia has signed up to speak this evening. He is also the applicant. Mr. Caesar, if you would like to speak, if you don't mind coming forward and stating your name and your address, please.
Hey, how you guys doing today? My name is Cesar Garcia. This address is located on 186 Connolly Place. And long story short, I'm trying to see if you guys would allow us to reduce the setback requirements on the side setback requirements from, it would be specific, roughly around 15 to 17 feet per the plan that we are proposing to use.
And what is the setback?
We were told 25 feet, but if on public water, can be reduced to 12 feet.
I don't have any questions.
I have a question. Did I hear some Connolly Place? No,
186 Connolly Place.
that's where you live.
This is where the land lot is, yes. No, I'm sorry. I live on 83 Rovers Atella Road, Griffin, Georgia.
Okay.
So, excuse me, the application said 83 Rovers Utila. Is that not that's not the address of where you're seeking the variance?
No, where I'm seeking the variance is on 186 Connolly Place.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what it says on the application, right?
No, sir. No, sir. The application that I reviewed, I thought was on, okay,
No, the application does say 186
6 Connolly Place. Okay,
And you live on
Eight-
Weber Zatella.
Yes, sir.
okay.
Okay.
That's an error in the staff report.
Well,
But
if it-
staff can make a recommendation this evening.
Well, if it pleases the board, I would like to move that we table, because your recommendation is based off of,
Can you pull up the tax assessor's map and let's look at Connolly Place? Before we move on that.
okay.
Okay, so this is in fact, this is not what the staff report is written on, but I have reviewed this.
Okay.
There is a power line easement, as you can see, that runs through the middle of the property, and it does pose a hardship as that it can't be built in. And that is the hardship on which the variance would be granted. I will be happy to amend the staff report and send it out to you. However, if you wish to make a motion and accept my verbal amendment to my staff report, I do agree with the applicant to reduce the front setback down down, the side setback, down to 15 feet, so that they can build the house in this lot.
Now, I have a question. Are we building in front of the power line easement? Or
That-
are we building behind the?
That's a
power-
great question, Ms. D'Angelo. I do agree that we table for this session so that
Okay.
staff can actually go back and review all of the material appropriately.
Okay, okay.
I don't see it that way, but, I mean,
That's my
If that's what y'all
recommendation.
feel.
That,
dang, I mean, it doesn't matter. We're talking about 8 feet. Whether it's on that side or the other side, it's still the same.
The width of the lot does not change throughout the lot.
That's what I'm saying. We shouldn't have to make this gentleman wait.
It is the discretion of the board. It is a staff error.
Well, let's see. So, if we approve,
Ms. Tangela?
I'm sorry. Should we approve, then can we, condition it upon the site,
The site plan
Site
with
plan
that's
to be-
required for the building permit?
right?
Yes,
I mean, well, am I being redundant? Is that going to be something that will happen regardless, or do I need
Yes.
to state it in the, okay,
So the site plan is required, so we'll know where the house actually sits on the property.
Mhm.
They will be required to give us a scaled drawing so that we can determine the setbacks that they're requesting when they
Okay.
build it.
Mhm.
To make sure that also whenever they do the slab or the conventional foundation, that it's in the appropriate place per building code.
okay, okay. So then, me adding that stipulation is something that will happen regardless
Yes,
of the
ma'am.
stipulation or not, okay? Let me ask this question. Since we don't know where it's going, and if it's, what is, I guess, the protocol for dealing with power line easement? Do you have to build in front of it, and you cannot build behind it because a driveway would have to go across?
If I may speak, it more than likely would probably be proposed towards the front due to the fact that the perk test we did, the soil in the very back is no good for, septic.
So
Okay,
it's only on that side.
Yes, sir.
so you're looking at building in front of
Yes, sir.
the,
So if
the power
you'll,
line?
you'll also notice to the south of this property, see how close the floodplain comes?
Mm-hmm,
That's why it won't perk.
mm-hmm. Okay, okay. Well,
And the setback's just for that,
That's
it's just for the
That's it.
side yard,
Yeah.
correct?
yeah.
Mm-hmm, okay. Staff, are you comfortable with approving or amending?
Given the two hardships that are on this property,
Mhm.
yes, ma'am, I am, because we can regulate it through the building process. They would still have to meet the minimum square footage, they would still have to meet the driveway requirements, and
Okay.
they would still have to meet all of the exterior materials, et cetera, that are required within a subdivision.
Okay, all right. Well, now, are you ready to amend the,
I'd like to amend it to reflect, first of all, the address at Connolly Place, and second of all, an approval of the side setback.
okay, any conditions or anything that needs to be noted for our approval?
No, ma'am, I don't think so.
Okay. Okay, well, this has been lively this evening. I move approval of application 22-17V with the amended staff recommendations.
Okay, I make a second the motion.
All in favor? Right hand. All right. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, up next on the agenda is application 2218 V. Victor Michael Vondra, owner 1352 Cowan Road, approximately 16.82 acres located in land lot 92 of the 3rd Land District, requesting a variance to reduce front setback from 100 feet to 50 feet.
The applicant is not present, Mr. Chair, but they did send a statement that they would like read via email,
Okay.
if I please the board.
Yeah.
Dear board members, please consider allowing a change of the front building setback for these 3 lots from current 100-foot setback area and reducing this to 50 feet setback. The reason for this request is because of the required setbacks for floodplain on this property of 150 feet, along with the current front setback will leave the property owners a very limited and restricted area to build. Thank you for your consideration, Mike Vondra.
Did you say 3?
The parent tract, it was, at one point in time, it was 3 lots,
Okay, so it was.
and it's been consolidated, is
okay,
my
so just
understanding.
one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. From 100 feet to 50 feet.
If you'll look at your staff report, the first picture does show the floodplain. There's only 2 spots of buildable area outside of that floodplain with the buffer. And Mr. Vondra is proposing to build in the, if you look at the parcel, it's the lower left corner.
Gotcha, so that's his only option.
Yes, sir, and that includes, with floodplain, understand the rules for perking for septic tank. There is no sewer available. Those are considerable hardships when building.
Absolutely.
And I would very much so recommend approval, without any conditions.
I have just a realtor thought question here.
Yes, ma'am.
When this house is built, will the occupant have to have flood insurance when you're in this close to the flood plain, or do you know?
Not knowing the rules and mandates of the state of Georgia regarding that type of homeownership, but I would highly recommend it as
Okay.
the community development director.
Okay, all right, okay. She said, can she ask questions? I mean, nobody signed up to speak.
They did not, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. What is she feeling like she needs?
I just didn't understand where the 3 houses were supposed to be built. I didn't understand what it is on the map.
I'm not sure it's 3 houses.
It's one
It's
house
just
is
one
what the
house.
application said.
The 3 lots got combined into one?
That's my understanding, yes, sir.
The 16 acres got combined into 1 lot?
That's my understanding. However, if there are 3 lots that are going to be there, there's a platting process that will have to occur first. No, ma'am, it's still one track. You can only have one house per parcel.
Yeah, that's what I was asking about at the very beginning of that email.
Right.
You said 3.
Yes, sir. So before they can, if they're reducing the setback on one lot, it only applies to this lot.
That lot.
Whenever they start splitting the lots, they have to come back and get a variance for each lot.
So what we're approving this evening is one house on these 16 acres.
Yes, ma'am.
Any change will require a different process.
If they're wanting to subdivide the property, that is a different process that goes before planning commission first.
Okay, okay. All right.
Any other questions of the staff?
No, not at this time.
Make a motion on 2218 Victor?
I move approval of application 22-18V.
I second. All in favor, raise your right hand. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Next up on the agenda is application 22-20S, Fred Eric Moye, owner 132 Canaan Court, approximately 2.54 acres located in land lot 14 of the 2nd Land District, requesting a special exception for a home occupation General. I don't have anyone signed up for that this evening, but the applicant is here. If the board would entertain the applicant speaking, if you don't mind, step to the dais and state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Fred Eric Moy. My address is 132 Canaan Court in Williamson, Spalding County, of course.
All right, sir. You would just want to explain your application?
Well, I repair firearms, and I've had a county license and a FFL license for 25 years. And according to Miss
Littlefield.
Littlefield, I'm sorry, that my business was rated wrong, where I'm thinking I was in the service business, but she said I'm in the repair business. Is that not right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But, I'm, like I said, I've been there 25 years. I mean, I've had the license 25 years, and I'm, repair firearms, and,
So it's more or less just a,
last 3 years, I bought, several guns and sold 3. So, I mean, I'm not in the gun business. I mean, I'm not in the retail gun business. But if someone, like say somebody comes in and has a gun, they say, well, I don't want to pay $200 to have it, would you buy it from me? And sometimes I will and sometimes I won't.
Okay.
But, I have an alarm, and I have safes, and I have 200 acres behind me, and it's a,
And this is a business you already have. I guess we're
Yeah,
trying
I've
to
had it
get you in the
25
right
years.
category.
yes, ma'am, I've
That's
had it
right.
25 years.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
all right, good.
Okay.
That's all you got? Y'all got any questions?
No questions.
No
We
questions.
thank you.
I'm a firearm safety instructor, I'm a hunter safety instructor, and
Okay.
Okay, good.
All right.
Cool.
We thank you.
Thank you. Staff?
All right, staff does recommend approval with the same 3 conditions: no exterior signage, a fire marshal's inspection of the premises, and any felony convictions must be reported within 10 days. It's been a long day. So, and again, this is a compliance issue that we are looking to keep all of our businesses in business in Spalding County and make sure that they're correctly categorized, that they're, for lack of a better word, that they are bona fide and we're operating in compliance according to our own rules.
Okay. All right. If nobody has any questions,
I don't have any
I'll
questions.
make a motion to approve application 22-20S.
I
I
second.
second.
All in favor, raise your right hand.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. And you will receive a letter in the mail that verifies that, and I will also be sending it to, Mr. Griffith with the ATF to let him know that you've received outstanding marks from the BZA. This is the final decision meeting, I believe. You have to get your special exception. You have to go before the Board of, the Commissioners. Yes, there is a second meeting. So thank you.
Mr. Chairman, next up on the agenda is the consideration of the approval of the minutes for the meeting held on July 14th, 2022.
Since I wasn't here,
I move of approval of the last meeting, July the 14th, 2022.
I second. I second.
all in favor, raise your right hand. Go. And make a motion to adjourn?
Wait a minute, we had a, do
Anything
we
else?
need to
Yes.
entertain this? But we can, okay. Well, you made the motion? I second.
All in favor of adjournment?
So moved.
All right,
Thank you, guys.
thank you.
Not bad, guys.
Man, it's gun night up in Spalding County.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Give us just a minute.
All right.
Right.
Isn't that rare? We had two.
Hey, that's all, we're protected.